Diario El Universo nos trae una vez más los Lion Talks. El Universo es el representante oficial de los Cannes de Lions, el mayor festival de publicidad del mundo, y con los Lion Edit es un evento local que trae lo mejor de este gran festival al Ecuador. En su escenario se presenta lo mejor de la creatividad global, como se lo merece Ecuador, y local dentro de un ambiente lleno de inspiración donde los asistentes crean grandes ideas. El Universo, conjuntamente con la Asociación Ecuatoriana de Agencias de Publicidad, realizan este Lions Talk y el Cóndor, que es un festival que premia a la creatividad en el Ecuador. Hoy tenemos la suerte de tener en la línea a un, ¿cómo le podemos decir? A ver, este speaker se nos puede ir de las manos a nivel de conocimiento porque es un grande de lo que significa trabajar hoy en la creatividad. Impartió un taller que dice Fuck AI, al diablo con la inteligencia artificial en el Festival de Cannes, hasta presentaciones sobre la dura realidad del humano conectado. En un mundo donde hay 6.000 millones de teléfonos, ¿no sabía eso, Córdova? 6.000 millones de teléfonos.
¿En la India qué?
Hágame acuerdo para contarle la historia de IBM, cómo fracasó por eso. Podemos girar hacia la realidad donde la intención se convierta en una nueva medida. Pues el día de hoy tenemos a este personaje que se llama David Shing, más conocido como Shingy. Es un futurista, orador, director creativo, consultor y sobre todo es uno de los que viene a dar estos Lion Talks. Vamos a saludarlo primero y vamos a darle la bienvenida a Ecuador. David, good morning. How are you? Good morning here in Ecuador. I don't know where you are, so good morning here in Ecuador.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me this morning, and I'm thrilled you switched from Spanish to English because this is going to be a rough interview, man.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We do our best in English. Where are you?
I'm in New York, brother.
Okay, so it's good morning still for you.
Yes, it is. It's perfect timing, in fact.
Él está en Nueva York y nos saluda a todos. Estaba asustado que la entrevista fuera a darse en español.
Ya está haciendo frito.
Sí, it's getting cold over there, isn't it? Shingy, it's getting cold over there.
Yeah, go on.
You're impressed that we switch from Spanish to English. Don't worry, we'll be doing it for the whole interview. So it's getting cold in New York already.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it is. It dropped 20 degrees in the last 24 hours, so it can only get colder. That's why I'm very happy to leave on Monday to come.
You're going to be sweating here. Don't worry. Why you think you're going to be sweating? Don't worry. I'm going to make the first the question in Spanish, then I'll translate to English, then you can answer, we'll translate, and that's how the interview will go on. Okay?
Gracias.
Okay. Le voy a preguntar cuál es la opinión sobre el impacto de la tecnología en la creatividad y la publicidad moderna. Creo que es una persona que nos puede contestar. What is your opinion on the impact of technology in the modern creativity and advertising, Siggy?
Oh, great question. And secondly, I should have probably had my daughter come down and join this call because her Spanish is phenomenal. And
cool.
Clearly, I picked up ever so slightly what you're talking about. But when it comes to technology and how it's changing creativity, great question. However, I would say that particularly when you look at places like Ecuador, your largest population is the sweet spot for marketers. It's the 25 to 34-year-olds. And so that audience, and then, the second largest audience is the 18 to 24s. So both of those audiences are incredibly au fait with technology, so they're very adaptable to technology. But what technology is really doing for creativity is becoming an increasingly powerful tool. Let me explain.
Okay.
I'm a classically trained graphic designer. It's what I studied back in Australia when I grew up as a kid. And when I came out of school, people said to me, Shingy, your industry is going to die. And I said, well, why? They said the advent of desktop publishing is going to crush your industry. And I thought, wow, what a waste of time. I spent all this time in design. But the truth is, what happened is design isn't dead. Design today is even more important than ever before. So what happens with technology, it democratizes, it gives access to everybody to the tools that they need to be more creative. Wow. And technology is just one of those tools. What we now have, though, are more places for those tools to allow creative expression to happen. When I was a kid, we needed massive studios and lots of nuances, lots of skill to actually create content. Where today, we just know that audiences just need these tiny devices and they create incredible content. So technology, its role in creativity, is another tool that allows creativity to be even more explosive than we've seen before.
Let me translate it. Bueno, nos dice que Ecuador tiene unas edades maravillosas, que la mayoría de la gente está entre los 35, 25,
sí, 24, 25 años
y 18 para arriba, lo cual significa que se adaptan mucho más fácil a la tecnología. Pero después nos cuenta su propia experiencia, nos dice que él cuando estudiaba en Australia diseño, la gente le decía, tu carrera se va a acabar, el mundo va a aplastar, la tecnología va a aplastar tu carrera, y desgraciadamente él decía, bueno, ¿para qué estudié esto? Pero se ha dado cuenta con el tiempo que la tecnología ha ayudado a la democratización de la creatividad, que la gente puede tener más herramientas sin haber estudiado diseño, que los ayuda en la creatividad del diseño, y eso es lo que ha hecho la tecnología por la creatividad, que no ha acabado el diseño, lo que ha dado es diferentes herramientas para que la gente pueda mantenerse al día.
Adicionalmente, nos relata que antes necesitábamos estos estudios muy grandes, extravagantes, en donde además necesitabas muchas más herramientas e inteligencia para poder dominar estas herramientas, que ahora necesitas solamente un celular, un pequeño celular, como él lo menciona.
Le voy a preguntar ahora cuáles son las tendencias más emocionantes que ve en el mundo digital y publicitario en la actualidad. Shingi, what are the most exciting trends you see in the world, in the digital world and advertising today?
Are you telling me that all of that Spanish that you just spoke about was asking that question?
Yes, he was. Believe me. English for me is perfect. I went to school in the U.S. because you say so much in so little. In Spanish, you have all these blah, 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 blah. Remember.
So you know what's interesting about these incredible trends? People want to know a lot about what's shiny. And what I mean by that is obviously the trend of this year is artificial intelligence. But the truth is, I've been talking about that for 10 years. As a forecaster, I get to see some things that are happening early. And when I start to talk about it, people are like, I don't know about that. I've been saying the fourth industrial revolution, and the three before it was steam, electricity, computing. The fourth industrial revolution is powered by intelligence, human and otherwise. The only thing that people want to talk about this year is clearly all about artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. If we met last year, the thing that you would want to speak about is Web3, metaverse, NFTs, blockchain, etc., etc.
Where were you when COVID began?
Yeah, and look, the truth is, these are just extensions of the core component of things that make you exciting. When brands and advertisers are trying to target people, and look, even if I look at your country, there's like 16 million users on mobile. What's changed is we've moved away from attention, where you spend all this time sitting in front of a screen, to intention, where if you're actually going to put your finger on something and start to dig into an application or an experience, that's an intention. And so the job today has moved, and it used to be about creating funnels. It used to be about feeding the top of the funnel to get to the bottom of the funnel, etc., etc. Those days are over. And what I mean by that is that we have to think about ecosystems. An ecosystem is when you wake up in the morning and you reach for your device, whatever that is, and it's probably going to be a mobile phone, you have an intention that's very different at, say, 2 in the afternoon. So if you're somebody who can meet even a brand or an advertiser, what those needs are throughout the day, that creates an ecosystem of need. And that's what's really fascinating to me. So I can definitely speak to all of the current technology trends, but what I really care about are what the users behind the screen are doing and what those needs are and how they're being addressed. It's less about the shiny object. It's more about the understanding. And one thing I will say is that the success of every brand, any brand we mention on planet Earth, have a mix of two things. But there's three things they need to think about. So the two things are performance, like, buy one, get one free. And sleep on this mattress for 90 days. If you don't like it, send it back. That's all about performance. If it says what it does, and it does what it says, great. But the other thing is then people lean on story. Established in 1952, this incredible brand has been with you. It's like family. Okay, get it. So those are the two things that people must focus on. But the one that we really need to focus on, particularly with your question around digital, is feel. And what I mean by feel is, what does your brand feel like? Does it feel like something I want to align with? And here's why it's important, because when you get in a car, if the three of us jump in a car right now and we close the doors, we know within milliseconds whether we're driving a luxury car or an economic car. And that feel, that smell of the leathers, the sound of the engine, that sentient, that feel, that gives us a relationship. Exactly the same thing when it comes to digital. People need to think about what their feel's going to be so they can build that relationship digitally.
Bueno, nos dice, I'm going to translate, nos dice que él ya no está tan preocupado por los equipos, por estos aparatitos, que él está preocupado por lo que pasa del otro lado, que eso es lo que él ve que está trending. Ya no es la sensación, sino la intención. ¿Qué significa eso, Córdoba? Por ejemplo, usted en la mañana va a ver su TikTok o cualquiera de estas cositas y en la mañana tiene una intención o un sentimiento para ver ciertas cosas en la mañana, pero eso puede cambiar en la tarde. En la tarde usted tiene otra intención, no tiene la misma intención que tuvo en la mañana. Porque podemos hablar de aparatos, de cosas. Por ejemplo, el año pasado nos decía, ya no estuviéramos hablando de inteligencia artificial, sino que estuviéramos hablando, por ejemplo, de la Web 3 y una cantidad de cosas. Y lo otro que a él le parece interesante es la percepción inmediata de las cosas, según lo que le entendí. Por ejemplo, si nos subimos a un carro en cuestiones de milisegundos, nos damos cuenta si es un carro económico o es un carro de lujo. Entonces, esas percepciones, esas familiaridades, es lo que a él le interesa en este momento.
Sí, nos cuenta además que antes se priorizaba mucho la activación, ¿no? Del 2x1, llamar a comprar y activarte directamente, o de contarte la historia de la marca, pero eso queda ya un poco relegado a un lado, y necesitas trabajar en este sentimiento de marca en el que tú conectas y te sientes parte de, y creas como esta comunidad muy sentimental, ¿no?
Shingy, le voy a preguntar a Shingy qué nos va a traer al Lion Talks y si está preocupado o si tiene si le tiene algo de recelo a la inteligencia artificial. Shingy, I don't have a lot of time, but I have two small questions, two short questions. First one, what do we expect in your talk when you come to Ecuador? And the second one, are you in any way afraid of intelligent no.
To AI.
To AI, exactly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well translated. I have two quick answers for those quick questions. One is, I plan to do a year's worth of education in 20 minutes around the digital, what's going on in digital, and come up with some great creative ideas for people. And I'll give you the secret sauce right now. To make anything contagious, it needs to have surprise. So that's going to be part of my presentation. And lastly, am I afraid of AI? No. I'm super excited about it because I've seen it coming for a long time. We now just have better tools. I have a quick question for you before you translate that. Do people in Ecuador understand English as fast as we've spoken?